As humans, even though we've been around for a while, we're still evolving. You can't really mess up if you slow down.
Slowing down and letting there be space has been the difference of me actually closing deals.
Ask for as much money as you can without smiling. It's in the past been uncomfortable. It stems from not valuing myself.
What was like the hardest part in charging money for you?
Being able to understand people.
How do you understand people?
You have to understand yourself first.
We're all on the same journey, just different chapters, reading the same book. What are some of your darkest thoughts?
And this is what a lot of people don't talk about. My own identity as a human being. What it means to be a man. Who am I?
What did the death of your father do to you?
It opened my heart. It allowed me to free myself from really the prison that I put myself in.
Someone who recently lost a father, what are some practical things that they can do to really start making a difference right now?
My dad died because he did not let his feelings pass through him, and he didn't want to ask for help. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. Let yourself feel it.
How do you ask for help?
I did a 5-minute set at Gotham. Being so free that you're actually able to genuinely connect with another human on something that's meaningful.
All right, Ethan Blauner, what are you hiding?
Let's do it.
All right.
Is it recording?
It's recording.
Hello, check.
Welcome to the podcast. Don't know what it's called yet.
Welcome to the No Name Podcast.
To the No Name Podcast. What I do know is that I'm going to be having on some pretty extraordinary guests on this podcast.
After me.
After this guy, yeah. This is just like a
Average
test run
guy.
for equipment. Yeah, this one, honestly, not much value getting out of this podcast.
Amen to that. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for making it. You came on time.
I think
Actually, you came a couple minutes early.
Dude, that is huge. We can start off with just timeliness. That's something I've really struggled with, and I know you work with Corey. We went out to dinner one night, and this stood out to me. He said, in 30 years or however long of being in professional business and life, he says he's almost, if not ever late, he's always early. And I think becoming that person is a huge goal of mine, because I've generally been late or rushing, and I don't like rushing, but I just have become accustomed to it, and being late is unprofessional. So it's a pleasure to be here on time. Can you keep the mic down here?
Like when I speak, I'll go up here. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
I'm not usually in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera.
With that face? Come on.
Right. That's what
I think a lot of people are unaware, or if they are aware, they won't admit that they can work on how they communicate. And as humans, even though we've been around for a while, we're still evolving. So the communication that was done 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 50,000 years, it's only becoming more and more evolved. So where you're at right now, in your lifetime, you could evolve it really as much as you want if that's something you focus on. But I think it's totally just a focus and an intention behind, okay, I want to be better at communicating. I'm going to start communicating with better communicators, right? Speaking to people who communicate well, because just by listening to them and how they speak, you're going to start to mimic. I think that's been a part of my life, is mimicking people, and just being intentional with slowing down. It's so easy to get caught up with your words and get a little nervous. You can't really mess up if you slow down. And it's kind of scary to slow down, because it really brings you to the present moment, which a lot of people are fearful of, myself included, for a long time. I'm trying to embrace it a lot more now. But yeah, being present and slowing down is the key to making sure every word that comes out of your mouth is intentional.
Mm.
You don't waste breath. It's pretty special when you can start to do that. And
Yeah.
it throws people off.
I love that. I just had a business call before this, reviewing a proposal. And so went through the proposal, and at the end we talk about the price and money. And for me, that's something that's always been uncomfortable to do. But slowing down and letting there be space in between anything that I share and say has been the difference of me actually closing deals
Wow.
versus me just like rambling a bunch of shit because I'm afraid they might think something that might not be happening.
So relatable, by
And
the
they
way.
just jump off because they're like, what the fuck? Like, shut the, this
Yeah.
guy's overwhelming.
I just read a book. Do you know Alex Hermosi?
Alex Hermosi. I just finished $100 million offers in leads
Yes.
the past month.
So I don't know if you remember this quote, but one of the chapters started with, ask as much as you can, ask for as much money as you can without smiling.
Yeah. I don't remember the quote, but that sounds just like him,
Yeah.
something he'd say.
His point was, if you can confidently say, I am worth this much with a straight face and really believe it, you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, how the heck is someone who's going to pay you that much money supposed to believe it?
Yep.
But if you genuinely believe you are worth $100, $250, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, you ask for it. Then it's on the other person to really decide whether or not you are worth that much. But
Yeah.
that's not going to change if you think you're worth it. You're going to continue to ask for that much money if you believe it. If you believe you're worth $10,000, you're not going to ask for $5,000. That would be ridiculous.
Mhm.
But if you don't believe it and you say it and you can't even hold a straight face because you're like, wow, this is ridiculous. How am I asking for it? People are going to feel that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to shave. I was going to say shave. I have to go shave. I'll be back.
Yeah. Quick pause.
I always heard like you have to believe in what it is that you're selling. And, we're always selling, whether it's time that we spend with a partner or a friend.
Mhm.
It's what value can I bring to the table? And what value do I have in having this person in my life and, spending time with them? My biggest struggle was just knowing how to just even charge for the time and the value that I'm providing. And some of that just took doing the work, seeing what other people charge, seeing what people say no to, what people say yes to, and eventually just kind of landing at a price where I feel like 100% this is a no fucking brainer. Like if you say no, you're saving me time.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
over time, like actually on today's call, I upped the price a bit from the previous proposal. It was literally like a 5-10% increase. And I still know that I'm undercharging compared to what other people are doing, but I'm providing massive value. And at the end of the call, because of how much value I put into the communication, relationship, the proposal, all that stuff, make them feel heard. They said like, wow, this is like, you guys are undercharging. Don't charge me more, but like this is a lot of work and value you guys are doing for what you're charging. So finding a place I'm comfortable in where I have conviction.
Yeah.
And then kind of, little by little having more opportunity to charge more in different places. It's interesting.
It's funny because I feel like I can talk to people about a lot of different topics and subjects that are generally uncomfortable for most. An example, grief. A lot of people don't like talking about grief or death. I have no problem talking about that. Of course, it's because I'm closer to it than I've ever been before. It's easy for me to talk about grief. For some reason, money has in the past been a harder subject to talk about when it comes to asking for it. I have no problem asking other people about their money and their situation, but when it comes to me asking other people for their money for value in a service, it's in the past been uncomfortable. And I think it stems from not valuing myself the way that I believe now I do.
What was like the hardest part in charging money for you?
I think it's just becoming comfortable knowing that people can afford to pay for the service and not be worried about asking them for money, thinking that it's going to hurt their bottom line or their bank account. No, I'm giving them value. What I'm offering is worth the money that they're going to return to me in exchange for what I provide to them. And just not overthinking it, just being straightforward, being blunt, being direct. If they say no, like you said, it's saving me time. I have more time to do the other things that I like to do in my life. I mean, time is your most valuable thing that we have in life, that we don't get it back. So we have to value our time more than anything.
How much do you care about anything that you do?
It's a great question. I have gone back and forth with that because there's been times where I tie my shoes as slowly as I can, and I'm intentional with how they look, and I'm really slow and methodical. And then there's times where I shove my shoes on, I don't even tie my laces, and I just run out the door. But I always feel my best when I take everything I do seriously. For me, my belief is we should treat it like it's the most important thing in the world. Because technically, at that moment, it is. It's the only thing we're doing. Right now, the only thing that matters is this podcast. If you're listening, the only thing that matters, unless you're driving or doing something else at the same time, which a lot of us do, is if you're spending your time listening to this, it's taking in the information and really being present for it. So be present, and the more present you are, the more you're actually going to take what you do seriously and with care.
It's interesting. You've been reading Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
What was like your biggest takeaway if you finished it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
Everything is packaged in a way to talk to a consumer and speak to them and say, is this a problem that you're dealing with? If so, I'm going to help you with X, Y, and Z, and you're going to get to this stage in your life, and you're going to pay this much money to do it. And if you can speak to someone and really resonate with their issue, let's say they aren't happy in their relationship, and you say, hey, are you struggling to communicate with your partner? If they're not making the money that they want to, hey, do you want to make more money? How many people can relate to that and say, yeah, that's me? If you can talk to someone and understand someone in a way that they don't feel they can be understood by maybe their friends or their family, and someone online is telling you, hey, I get you. I know what you're going through, and I totally understand, and I can help you. You have to pay me, but I can help you. Of course, there's going to be plenty of people who don't end up buying it, but there will be enough in this day and age who resonate and put their credit card in immediately to help themselves solve that problem. So I think it's like relating to someone and being able to understand people.
How do you understand people?
You have to understand yourself first. The more you get to know you, the more you get to know everyone else.
Why do you think that is?
Because we are all each other. We are all just mirrors for each other. We're not different. We look different. Maybe we speak different. Maybe we move differently. But if you take all of that away, what do we all feel? We all feel love, joy, sadness, anger. We all have thoughts, ideas, ambitions. So what's really the difference? If you really break it all down, your name is not really real. That was made up.
Right.
We only have names so that we can identify each other and say something, but like, you don't need to have a name. If you're on an island and you're alone, you don't need a name. You're just present. No animal is going to call you by your name that's on the island with you. You're just going to be.
Unless you're on something, it could happen.
That's true. Yeah,
It could happen.
You might end up getting. Most people have the same ideas about life that you do. Everyone wants to be happy and fulfilled. Everyone wants to have great relationships. Everyone wants to be able to communicate their feelings and their thoughts in a succinct manner. You can't really understand someone else if you don't understand yourself first. All right, here's an example. We're both going to climb a mountain. You've never climbed that mountain before. I've climbed it 100 times. Aren't you going to ask me for help?
I am. How the fuck do you climb that mountain?
Yeah, isn't it hard? Yeah, it is hard, but I've done it 100 times now. I can point you in the perfect direction to make it as seamless an experience as possible without getting into danger, right? Because I've made so many mistakes in the 100 times I've been up I've learned so much. Now I can help you. Now let's take that analogy, that example, and instead of a mountain, let's pretend in us is a canyon, right? Like it's as deep as possible within our bodies, the Grand Canyon in our body. I've gone down. I know what's at the bottom of mine. It's probably similar to what's at the bottom of yours and yours. And the more we discover what's in the canyon of us, and we take those trips down and down and down and down, we come back up and we're like, yo, I found some stuff this time.
Yep.
You don't have to take the trip. I got you. I'll save you the trip. If you go on a trip though, let me know what you find. It's not all that different. I'm going to find something that's going to relate to you. Or let's say you're like, no, that doesn't resonate with me. Well, that's going to still help you because it's going to allow you to say, well, I don't like that. I know I don't like that. Great. I just went inside myself. I learned about me and that helped you learn about you. How beautiful is that? We're all just helping each other.
The past 3-4 months, my life has really been kind of shifting, and the difference of me being able to help other people versus struggle in doing that and closing deals or having good relationships has been always comparing myself with other people. So not identifying, but comparing. I mean, straight up, like the way that I was brought up, beautiful family, loving family, like anyone is accepted. But there was a lot of comparing with cultural differences, like whether it was gender, culture, even ethnicity. Sometimes I would judge people and have like a initial kind of, concept of what kind of person they were based on what they look like, which I believe we all need that to some extent. That's how we honestly avoid certain situations that are, potentially harmful. But being able to step away from that and then look for the similarities for me has been the difference. And doing the inner work, and honestly being in spaces where there are other people who are struggling with similar things, I can listen and I can think and process that we're all on the same kind of journey, just different chapters, reading the same book. So I can just see people as humans. And like today, like I genuinely, when I see anyone, I don't see race, I don't see gender, I don't see cultural, religious backgrounds. And it's weird because I've always seen that. So being able to identify has made me more open to people. Wow. And them more open to me. A lot more doors have opened up. I can just do better in my relationships, and it's pretty cool. But it started with connecting with people and identifying and just being in those kinds of those circles. My question for you is, what are some of your darkest thoughts?
I don't even like calling them dark thoughts. I shouldn't have even used that term, but I'll just say thoughts. It's really easy to identify with thoughts and pretend or make believe like that's who I am, but the thoughts are just thoughts. I am the awareness behind the thoughts. So when I'm here and I'm sitting in this apartment doing this podcast, I'm doing my best to be as present as possible and not being in my head listening to the thoughts. I just want to be here listening to you.
They get pretty loud sometimes.
For sure. They can get super loud. You can get lost in them and then you forget, oh, whoa, that's not me. Those are just ideas and thoughts that who knows where they're coming from.
It's legit really scary.
For sure.
It's legit fucking terrifying.
But what's also scary, and this is what a lot of people don't talk about, is when those thoughts are in here and there's silence. That's scary too. Because then you start to wonder, well, where did those thoughts go? I thought that was me. Why are they gone? And then they're back just by thinking like that.
Yeah. Right. It's so interesting how fast you can just slip back.
Yeah.
It's like it happens in any moment if you're not aware.
100%. I would say the most reoccurring thought is my own identity as a human being, struggling to come to terms with what it means to be Ethan, what it means to be a man, what it means to be a human. With all of that, which I still have not totally figured out, and it's a ever evolving journey, is okay, what am I supposed to do with that information? It's relearning about myself, getting rid of everything I had in childhood that was told to me,
Right.
be this way, talk this way. That's wrong. That's right. Act like this. Don't act like that. I'm trying to get rid of anything that isn't completely myself. I want to think freely. I want to act freely. I want to be free. So if someone, when I was 6 years old, told me, don't act like that, and it got ingrained in me, I have to realize that and realize that I'm actually acting out things that happened to me when I was a child as a 30-year-old.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
It's okay.
Damn, Alexa.
It's okay, Alexa. I'm working on it. Like I said before, it's not associating that my thoughts are myself. It's just, okay, those are interesting thoughts. I'm aware of them. What can I do with them? Who am I? I'm a loving, kind, caring individual who wants to feel fulfilled, give love, receive love. These are like, to me, like at the root of who we are as humans.
Yeah.
And then embodying that every day and living by those values. Basically getting rid of all the fluff, getting to the core, being present with that, tapping into my feelings. Because the thoughts are one thing, the feelings, those are real. Those are in my body. Those are inside of me. They're also not who I am necessarily, but they are more deeply rooted in my experience. If I can cry, laugh, scream, and I can really tap into the harder to reach parts of myself, that's when I feel the most myself. The more you get in touch with your feelings and your emotions and what you really feel deep down, the less triggering people's words are going to be to you, because
That's a valid point.
because
Yeah.
you've already discovered that part of yourself and you understand it.
And this is both like relationships and business. Like you'll just know how to handle rejections just by doing it. You have better words. Like you just said, honestly, it's a good thing to think about. Like it's less triggering. Like you just hear it and you just know how to respond.
Yeah, if you went
It
on,
hits you less.
yeah, if you went onto the street right now and you asked 100 people for a phone number, for the average person who doesn't really go up to people on the street and ask for their number,
It'll sting.
First person is going to sting. No. Second person will probably still sting, and you might start to get those thoughts coming in. Right? That's where the thoughts come in. Why did two people say no? Is it how I look? Is it how I spoke? Is it? Then maybe you try to do something different to change it, and you get another no, and then the thoughts get louder. Right? Louder, louder, louder. But if you get 25 no's and you don't let that bother you because you believe in what you're doing in yourself, and you just keep going, by the 100th no, it's not going to feel nearly as difficult as it did to get that first no.
If you had to do one thing, it's just consistent action. Without consistent action, you won't be able to know whether it's the way that you're speaking, your look. You won't be able to actually know what's behind what isn't working without consistent action.
I always will relate what I do in life back to exercise and working out and having a good fitness health regimen. I was a sophomore in college. This is over 10 years ago now. And I decided I was going to get in really good shape for the first time. I had played sports my whole life. I'd always been in athletics, but I was never fit. I never looked the way I wanted to look.
Were you heavier as a kid or thinner?
I was more, I call it like skinny fat. I was not.
Okay.
In my sophomore year, I said, all right, this is it. I'm going to get in shape. And my only goal at that time, I was in college, was I didn't even think about schoolwork. I was like, I'm just going to get a six pack. Like that's my goal. 6-pack abs.
Good goal. Yeah.
I didn't care about anything else. And so I started taking these boxing classes, and I would go 5 to 6 times a week before class in the morning. I think the workouts were at 9 a.m. I had class at like 10 or 11. I'd work out, go home, eat a healthy breakfast, go to class, come back, do work, eat, go to sleep, repeat. Didn't go out, stopped smoking weed, stopped drinking. 1 month of doing that, I was like, whoa, that's a big difference. 2 months, I'm like, oh, it's continuing. Like the results are continuing to get better. 3, 4, 5, 6. Did it for 9 months, pretty much straight through the whole year of school. And I completely transformed not only my body, my mind, my relationships, my outlook on life. The world truly just brightened up in a way that I could not have done if I didn't commit to that consistent effort in the gym. I was depressed before I was anxious. Those two things were wiped out.
Hmm.
That was around the same time that I started learning about mindfulness and meditation and all these things. That part of my health was because of the thoughts, loud thoughts in my mind about who I was, why I was, all these things of doubt, of questioning myself. Through becoming fit, through quieting those thoughts and really being able to tap into them in a way that I sort of ran from before. I still struggled, but I was way more at peace with what existed rather than fighting it and trying to numb it, right? The weed was like, numb those thoughts, numb whatever doesn't make me feel happy in this moment.
Mm.
It's not that I don't have doubts anymore, or it's not like my thoughts are gone. I still have them, but I'm at peace with who I am, what I am. And even though I don't really know exactly what that is, whatever it is, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm
Mhm.
just being. This didn't happen until my dad died. This was all post the death of my dad, which was now a year and 5 months ago.
What did the death of your father do to you to start thinking differently and doing things differently?
It opened my heart. My heart was closed. It opened my heart. I can feel now. I can respond. I can be present. I can understand. I can breathe. I'm aware. It allowed me to free myself from really the prison that I put myself in, and to just be, period, to just be, instead of trying to, or doing that because someone else wanted me to. Just radical acceptance of myself. It's a daily journey to embody that. And then, of course, like we were talking about before the podcast, help others embody that presence of acceptance, of authenticity, of love. And it starts with yourself. We got to love ourselves before we can possibly think about genuinely loving other people.
And it's tough because with awareness, you might understand that it's less about you. And so you have the privilege to not take things and tools to not take things personally. But it's still not easy being around people who can't take care of themselves. How can I keep my own balance with people who don't know how to just, take care of themselves? Because it's hard. You care about them, you love them, you want them to do that, and you try to help them in whatever way you can. But what's that like healthy balance of knowing when to step away? If you could talk to Ethan prior to his dad passing, maybe what moment would that be, and what would you say?
I would say it's okay. It's okay. You're enough. You're okay. Everything's going to be okay. Keep your head up. Feel your feelings. It's all okay. Just relax. Just breathe. Let go.
Someone who recently lost a father, what are some practical things that they can do to really start making a difference right now, today?
Sit with yourself. Have someone around. It could be me. It could be a friend. It could be a therapist. Just sit, be present, and speak your thoughts out loud. Let those vibrations actually come out, and then sit with it. Feel. Exit the head. Come into your body. Come into your heart. How are you feeling? Because the only way to heal from trauma, from past events, is to let those feelings that we suppressed in the moment actually come through. The more suppressed we are, the more we're blocked, the more we're not going to be able to tap into our highest potential. I had a good cry earlier. in the car with Emily, and a scream. I told you before we started filming.
Was the scream in the car?
The scream was in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Windows down or up?
Up.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. I felt it. I knew I needed to cry. Whenever I need to cry, and I talk about this on our podcast. My partner Emily and I have a podcast
What's it called?
Called the MEM and E for Ethan show.
It's right here on the screen. Check it out.
Thank you. I had felt like I hadn't had a good cry in a while, and whenever I don't cry for a week and a half, 2 weeks, I know that I need to cry. I know that it's natural for me to feel those feelings, and I don't hide from them anymore. I embrace the heck out of them. I love to cry.
I'm curious, the cry, how much of that does it have to do with your father's passing?
It's hard to completely pinpoint what a specific cry is for. I've cried of gratitude. I've cried of happiness. I've cried of joy before. The reason I'm able to tap into these feelings so much now is because I'm going through the grief process of the death of my dad. Every cry isn't necessarily because I'm sad that he's dead. The cries have been able to start to come out because I'm processing for the first time true feelings, and I haven't done that my whole life. So there's so much that exists that needs to leave.
So because of the passing of your father, you had this moment where something had to change. You're on this journey of processing your emotions and being able to help others. And we'll talk a little bit about that and how you do that. You have some tools now to be able to actually pay attention to some of these feelings that you have naturally as a human being and just fucking listen to them and find a private space to do it, because, in the world today, at least in the US and in New York City, Hell's Kitchen, New York, it might look like a crackhead, right? Screaming or crying, but we're fucking humans and we're animals, and we have these, feelings, and we suppress them all the time.
My dad died because he did not let his feelings pass through him in a healthy way, if at all. He suppressed them and disregarded himself for so long that by the time he was ready to possibly let them pass through him, I believe he thought, or he felt like it was too much to handle, and he couldn't do it, and he didn't want to ask for help. So my mission is to never let that happen to someone if I can help it, and be a presence for someone to say, whatever you're feeling, it's okay. Let yourself feel it. Whatever you're thinking, it's okay. Thoughts are just thoughts. Feelings are just feelings. They're not who you are. They're not who you will be. I don't want that to ever happen to someone if it can be helped. And I believe in my dad, 100% it could have been helped if he had me right now at the time before he died. I wasn't who I am now when he was alive. His death has been able to propel me to be this person who I am today. It was an amazing gift that he gave to me. My dad's death didn't need to happen. He could have gotten the help that he needed, and he could still be alive.
Talk a little bit about like what you do today to give back to others and how you do that. What's the next chapter look like?
One thing I did is I started a run club called Dead Dad Run Club. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a run club for people who've had the experience of the death of a father. And through the run club, I've met countless people who are going through a similar experience that I am. And we're all just helping each other. Similar to the mountain analogy that I gave earlier, there's people whose dads died 15, 20, 30 years ago. And they've been going through this process for way longer than I have. So how much can I learn from them who have been dealing with it for way longer? And then I get to start a club that actually gives them an opportunity to maybe talk about things that perhaps they haven't talked about in a while. Maybe there hasn't been an outlet for them. Maybe actually they've been suppressing that story for so long. And then I come about, right? Think about their perspective. This guy's dad died. I started the club 3 months after he died. It's like, wow, this guy's dad died 3 months ago and he's starting this club to like talk about his trauma. That's awesome, because a lot of people don't talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And grief, which I believe is a big reason that my dad sort of had his break, I call it like a mental breakdown, is he didn't process grief and he let it build up and he suppressed it and he suppressed it and he suppressed it and he numbed it, and then it blew up. And I think that's super common. And I know my dad's not the only one. So my goal is to make sure, if I can help it, a lot less people have to suffer and die.
As soon as anything traumatic happens, I think as soon as possible, if you don't know what to do, don't know how to feel about it, asking for help. It basically comes down to that, but it can be hard.
Yeah,
It can be hard asking for help.
for sure.
How do you ask for help?
First, it's finding someone who you feel comfortable enough around to ask. You got to know, trust your gut, your feeling, your intuition when it comes to who in your life do you genuinely feel like you could say anything to, and there will be no judgment. It will be an open space, and you can just share your truth freely. You got to find that person or those people. Maybe it's your parents. That would be amazing. Maybe it's your siblings. Maybe it's your friends. Maybe it's your significant other. Maybe it's your therapist. Find that person or those people and share your truth. Share your authenticity. Share your thoughts that you think are too crazy for anyone to hear. And just put it out into the universe and know that it's okay. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, whatever you believe, it's okay. Got to find those people first. That's number one, because you need a safe space when
Yep.
it comes to entering that place of vulnerability, making sure that you're comfortable. You got to feel comfortable. Your body's not going to want to open up if it doesn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. That's honestly really helpful. Like, really helpful advice for asking help. Like, if there was a blueprint for asking for help, it's exactly that. Finding the right people.
Because the right people, you can theoretically say anything to. Share and know that you will not be judged. You will just be listened to and heard, held, and loved. It's
Yeah.
a pretty special space. Not many people can hold that. So if you're like, I don't know if I have anyone, that's probably true.
It could be a teacher. I know some people who it was their teacher for
Wow.
them, their music teacher, their history teacher.
It's not a thought. It's not logical. Like logically, it's like, oh, shouldn't we be able to tell our parents? It's like those are often the last people that you want to tell.
Yeah.
And that is not necessarily a representation of you, right? Like you asking them. It's most likely a representation of the space that they hold. Now, we can always work on ourselves to the point where we can open up to anyone about anything, right? That's the goal. Because if you feel safe enough in your own space, you could talk to anyone about anything. And then that goal for me is, okay, if I can talk to anyone about anything, then anyone can talk to me about anything, and I'm going to hold that same space.
You know what's interesting about that though is that like the more comfortable I get in my own skin, I find that there are people who I'm very comfortable with, like trauma that I faced that I can just share openly. And you got to kind of navigate like what things to share based on who you're sharing it with. But there's some people who it's uncomfortable for them to listen to me share what I share. And grief is something that we're not taught. We're not taught how to navigate grief or what to do when we lose a loved one. What should someone do who is uncomfortable with the concept of grief, whether they lost someone or someone they know they care about lost someone? What do you think they should do?
It comes back to being in touch with your feelings. And if you feel like you should, let's say, it's you and you're talking to me about my own grief, if you feel like maybe I should ask a question, like that's what your gut is telling you, ask the question. Because the worst thing that can happen is I can say, I don't want to answer it. But the best thing that could happen is, wow, I've been wanting to talk to someone about this for so long. No one's been able to be courageous enough to ask me. Thank God that someone finally did. I've been wanting to get this off my chest for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's the other perspective where it's like me talking about grief with someone who I think maybe isn't ready for it, just talk about it. And the worst thing that can happen is you respond in a way that you sort of close off, and I can sort of tell that you don't want to talk about it anymore. And then I stop talking about it.
Yeah.
But the best thing that can happen, which happens to me all the time, is I talk about my grief and the death of my dad. And then the person I'm talking to opens up about something of their own in their own experience. And that happens all the time. For example, at the comedy show, I did a 5-minute set at Gotham.
Holy shit, that's some pretty big news right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 minutes.
That's dope.
At Gotham Comedy Club. It was an incredible experience.
Should we put a quick clip in this?
Yeah. That'd be
All right,
cool.
check this out.
All right.
Ethan Blauner. I'm so grateful to be out here tonight, and some amazing comedians have performed tonight. And my mom's in the front row. I think she skinned a cow before coming into the show. The rest of the jokes will be about my dad. Before we get into that, I started a run club last year. The name of the run club is Dead Dad Run Club. No. It's a run club for people with dead dads. I have a dead dad. Yeah. I'm not bragging. Okay, maybe a little. So the recruitment process for Dead Dad Run Club it's pretty straightforward. I'll go up to you, introduce myself, and be like, is your dad alive? Based on your response, I'll know how to take it. The second question is usually like, so how'd your dad die? We'll pretty much allow anyone in with a dead dad, but I am a sucker for an inspiring dead dad story. This girl, she told me her dad died from a heart attack while riding a Peloton bike. Talk about a killer workout. On the other hand, if you come to me and you tell me that your dad died peacefully in his sleep at 92 from natural causes, you better be running in front of the pack. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed that clip. I'm not sure which one Sergio put, but hopefully it was a good one. Most of my set was about my dad, and then also this run club that I started, Dead Dad Run Club. And after the show, this girl came up to me and she immediately said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" As soon as I got off the stage, and we went outside, and she said, "Hey, I'm actually sort of a consultant for run clubs, and I'm super interested. I just looked up Dead Dad Run Club, and it seems awesome. And oh, by the way, I have a dead dad." And she immediately opened up.
Wow.
And she said that was some of the best dark humor I've ever heard.
Wow.
And I said, "Thank you so much. And you should totally come and join us for a run." Man, that's so beautiful that by me sharing my truth, my story, what I've started, what I'm going through, I was able to help someone else open up about her story, her truth.
How did that feel?
Amazing. That was a affirmation that what I'm doing is helping people and resonating, right? If I can do something that resonates with someone else, that speaks to someone and really connects with them, that means I'm tapping into something special.
That's a pretty cool feeling, right?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's like if there was a feeling to define define free, I would assume it's that feeling of just being an open book and having that happen.
Being so free that you're actually able to genuinely connect with another human on something that's meaningful. Because it's easy to connect on a TV show or drama, but when you can connect on something that's deep in your soul, that's where true connection in community is built, is genuinely speaking from the heart and connecting with someone else's heart.
What's a question you wish people would ask you more often?
It's a great question.
Great question, right?
This is a tough question. What are you hiding?
That's good. Interesting. How would you respond to that?
I don't know. Try it.
Oh shit. All right. Let me just prepare myself for this.
It's a vulnerable question to ask.
Yeah. All right, Ethan Blauner. What are you hiding?
I'm hiding my. Let's try it again.
Wait, you want me to ask it
Let's try it
differently,
again.
or
No.
Okay,
do
okay.
it the same way.
All right, Ethan Blauner. What are you hiding?
I don't feel like I'm hiding anything right now, but I definitely still have things about myself that I haven't shared with the world. And I think speaking about it more publicly, I mean, like sharing it on my own podcast, sharing it on podcasts that I'm on, and really exploring things about myself that I'm just starting to accept is what I'm technically hiding. Because even though I'm sort of an open book, there's still parts of the book that are a little tighter. And that's something that I want to get more comfortable sharing. And I haven't yet. Not even on my own podcast. So that's something that Emily and I have talked about sharing. And it's just another representation of how I can be more vulnerable and how I can be more authentic, how I can be more of an open book.
Well, when the time's right, you'll know it.
Yeah.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I think a lot of people see me and know me as a person who's really outgoing, extroverted, friendly, loves to be around people.
Mm-hmm.
A part of that is for sure true. I love connection and being with humans. But I think what a lot of people don't know, and what I'm just starting to learn, is genuinely being seen and received by someone is actually something I'm realizing I'm uncomfortable with, or have been uncomfortable with, and I didn't even realize it. I think the reason I was able to be outgoing and social and extroverted is because I was not fully being myself. And now that I'm being myself as much as I possibly know how to be myself right now,
Yeah.
it feels like, oh, I'm actually being seen. And that's uncomfortable. And it's something I'm just learning how to deal with and express. It's a super fun journey.
Yeah.
Like
It's pretty
thinking
exciting.
you're outgoing and then figuring out actually like I was kind of like putting on an act.
Mm-hmm.
It's like easy to act in front of people versus just like be and not try to like please anyone. I was in a way pretending. Now I'm not. I'm willing to be vulnerable, so much so that whatever comes out. Like I'm not ashamed of it.
I think part of it is like, I don't know if it's ego or what you call it, but it's a sense of responsibility that when I get that attention from people,
Yeah.
it's like all this pressure all of a sudden, like you gotta, now I'm the man. I gotta be the one to lead them and take care of them and to fix them. And all that pressure, I get really uncomfortable. And I doubt myself. I'm like, can I actually do that? First of all, no one's supposed to fix anyone. and do that for other people. So no, you can't. It's crazy. No one's done that. But you can
Right.
lead people and be an example.
Yeah.
And you need to take care of yourself to do that. Honestly, growing up, loving family, some habits that caused me to just be a little bit more surface level, not show as much what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I became really good at that. And now that I'm trying to be authentic, it's actually, I find it a little challenging to not be real, because I'll get, whether it's an eye twitch or like I'll stiffen up. It's actually hard to not be authentic, or it's hard to not be authentic. And I find when I force myself to do that, they don't trust me. They can feel it. They might not know what it is, but I'm not authentic, whether it's what I'm saying or my body language.
Yeah.
They can feel it. And so it backlashes. And if I don't do something about it, I'll go the rest of the day with that kind of energy.
Wow.
And if I don't do something about it by the end of the day, it turns into a week.
And imagine the behavior that is formed when your whole life has been spent being inauthentic, and now trying to create a new behavior where you just speak your heart. It's freaking crazy. It's crazy. But to feel fully embodied, like I'm saying everything that I can be saying right now in this moment that is truly genuine. And I'm not saying it to make you feel a certain way or to make you feel more comfortable. I'm just saying it because this is truly what I feel.
Yeah.
And that's the freeing part, right? It's I could say whatever I want. It's like Eminem's music, man. Like his music is just pure. He says what he wants to say. He doesn't hide from his dark thoughts. He doesn't hide from his language. He just speaks. And I think like that's why I love rap and music, is you get to just flow. There's no censoring. It's just pure consciousness and subconsciousness and a mixture of both just coming together in this beautiful way to like fully feel empowered and embodied in oneself. It's amazing when you're in that feeling, and I feel like I'm in it right now.
Yeah.
Which is powerful.
We have to keep finding people like us around us. I love what you're doing with Dead Dad Running Club, and I can't wait to actually watch the full comedy bit.
Yeah. Thank you for trusting in me to come on the show and to
Makes sense.
deliver something valuable.
Yeah.
Thank you to those of you listening who hopefully got some valuable information, can take that into your own life. We're all just channels for each other to live our most vibrant, authentic, beautiful lives. Thank you for listening.
Go check Ethan out. The M&E show, right?
The M&E show.
Link in the description. Check it out. Comment down below if you've lost someone close to you and how you navigated that. See you guys next time. Peace.